Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SEL0320. I am back, and it's E3 week, everybody. So last year, me and Joe, we went through each one of the conferences, gave our insight on it, and it was crazy timing, but it worked really well. So I was thinking, you know what? Let's do it all over again. So the crazy thing about today was that it was Microsoft conference today. And there was a lot of things that came up that I cannot believe, but I've been waiting years to be able to kind of get that information. And so the first thing that came off on the Microsoft Expo, like they kind of like a small montage video. They had like Lara Croft, they had like Master Chief, it had a lot of different games that are going to be coming out, and games that I had no idea what they were. And they kind of had it with the Superman theme music, which I thought it was a subtle touch for me. Like, I was like, yeah, you represent Microsoft. And I mean, the thing is about Microsoft, they're coming off of being able to have Windows 10 that's about to come out really soon. Xbox One's market shares have been going up really high. And not just that, they've been doing really decent, you know? They've had decent games come out. And so the first one it was Halo 5 Guardians. And like, when I was looking at it, I was like, this looks freaking amazing. I'm gonna have to let Joe go back through the whole entire like conference, but when I was looking at the trailer for like Halo, and I was looking at the story arc, and I was looking at Commander Locke with his group, I was like, okay, this is the same actor that played Commander Locke within like that little small miniseries Nightfall. And at the same time, they got what's the name from Firefly, which is so ironic because I just bought Firefly. What is his name? Oh my gosh, because he's playing Nathan Fillion. He's playing one of the actual Spartan 4s, and the way that they were working together and moving and actually working through the different dynamics of everything, I thought this was just amazing. But then this was the thing that everybody was talking about. Was like, are they going to come out with not just like a arena style, but are they going to come out with a big team battle? And so they come out with showing like what's called Warzone. And I was like, what the heck is this? And then I just see there's tons of characters on the screen. I have no idea. I had to go back and review and look and see how many characters are actually on the screen. But they were starting just going off in a squad together, just forming straight in a line. And then they added a mix of like enemies there as well. So you're going up against player versus player, but then you're interacting with the enemy around you. They've never done anything like that in Halo's universe. So I think that that's going to be a great success as far as everything they're going to do. But the next thing that came up was, I guess, the world premiere of a game called Recore. And it was interesting to me because I was like, is this Destiny? You know, it looked like similar to Destiny kind of like feel to it. It was in this sand area, it had this young girl, and she was with this dog, you know, and the dog had this cord in his chest, it was blue. And these things just started attacking her, and then she had these small gadgets, and she was going back and forth, and I was like, wow, this is really freaking awesome. But then, like, the dog gets killed, you know, and he's kind of sacrificed himself like Vegeta style. And she takes the orb, and then she places it right back into like this mech that's just been sitting there. And then the dog wakes up in a robot body essentially. And then they go in, and they look like they're about to start attacking something else. And so it looks freaking amazing. And I was like, okay, Recore, I'm gonna take a look at you a little bit later on. Then, this is the biggest part about this whole entire thing. Everybody's gonna say, all right, you got Halo 5, you got the Tombraider, and then you got like this, and that was it. But this was a game changer. Okay, so Phil Spencer, he made an appearance, right? And he was talking about like the exclusive like Recore, and talking about like how innovative it's gonna be, and how revolutionary it's gonna be on a visual standpoint, but at the same time like just bringing anybody in more immersively to this girl's world. And then he was like, you know what, we've talked about this for years, we've been listening to y'all, we've been hearing y'all's chants, but it's gonna happen. And I was like, what is he talking about? Oh my gosh, is he gonna say it? So while this was happening, I'm sitting there on Twitter looking, and I was like, what the heck? What's Phil Spencer doing? Like, he just went up and just said like, backwards compatibility for Xbox One, all the different Xbox 360 games. So not only the physical copies of the Xbox 360 games that you have at home are potentially playable on the Xbox One, but also the ones that you have on the marketplace. So the ones that you have bought previously, on the Xbox Live, those can actually be played up on the Xbox One as well. And now there's a huge story about this, and I kid you not, I'm gonna show y'all a brief clip and footage so I can kind of tell the story and paint it for y'all. So this morning, I was going on and I was looking at this video that came up, and the video was for IGN. IGN was talking about, what do you want from Microsoft's E3 conference? That's what it was saying. And I went down to the comment section and I was like, you know what? Like, I know exactly what I want. I want them, I'm gonna try to get it so I can get that quote, because what y'all seeing now, y'all be able to kind of see like those exact words that I kind of actually said, because I don't wanna rebuff anything. Come on, allow me to play it. There we go. All right, I'm gonna mute that, pause that. All right, here we go. So one of the first things that I wrote was, if they gave all Xbox One users the ability to play their older Xbox 360 games through emulation, Microsoft would so win over their fans. Backwards compatibility hashtag, emulation hashtag, who's with me on this? And then I left at the end like, add Xbox. So somebody had also written up there, they had said, let me find it. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Here it is. If I can get to it. Hopefully the dude didn't erase it. I'd be so upset if I did happen. Oh, okay, here's what he said. I gotta go back to all the replies because I'm on this phone. I should have brought out my laptop. I apologize, y'all. But this story is so funny. So 10 hours ago, early in the morning, like I said, the same exact picture, or the same exact video that IGN put up, the guy was like, Xbox 360 games work for Xbox One, vice versa. Illicit Tech, some random guy, he was like, cannot. 2 different architectures, right? And then some other dude was like, vice versa, what? I didn't read that. The only thing that I read was what he was saying was like bringing back compatibility. I know he was getting it. And I was like, through emulation, it will be possible, but not through straight disk read exchange, but designed specifically for emulation system, or better yet, the disk or the digital exchange for the older games would be just as good. Shoot, buy a large HD hard drive today if they did this. I'm gonna do that. So somebody put like, ha ha ha, get a job. I was like, wait, are you talking to me? You know, I was like, Xbox One games are no longer, are not able to get on Xbox 360 for sure, but laugh out loud, not sure if you generated this comment to me, Jacob, but yeah, I do have a job. A year ago, Microsoft Frank Savage talked around the idea of emulation, stating that it's hard to emulate a PowerPC data from the x86 hardware, but it is possible in the future to be able to do. And I was like, I pray today the future is now. I was like, because I'm not getting rid of my old Arkham Xbox 360 games, there's no way. And then the dude named OS KETT, he wrote, stop, time to upgrade. There's no Xbox 360 games that no one wants to play on the Xbox 360. I was like, really though? Like, I have an Xbox One myself personally, but all of these different games that I know are there are classics such as Oblivion, the Batman Arkham series, Orange Box, Portal, the Burnout series, Mass Effect, all these different games, they have their own distinct feel to them and love to them, and I would love to revisit them like digitally or just through emulation. I feel that this should be able to be a graphic update. If not, there should be, in my opinion, that they should be able to do this. And basically he kind of goes on, he's like, you didn't get the Xbox 360. I was like, yeah, my Xbox 360 broke, essentially. And I was like, well, I just feel like this would be the best thing in my opinion. And I was like, I know I'm an old head and I still have my place, like my old Xbox version of like Spider-Man 2. But it was so funny because the dude came back, he's like, are you watching E3 right now? Your players have been answered. And then everybody that's on this, I'll just show y'all the actual pictures. They were like ragging on the guy that was saying this is impossible. And I was just like, I was starstruck because the whole concept is now you can be able to take your physical copy, be able to put it into the actual Xbox One, or have your digital version and be able to play any of the ones you want to. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have like a smart snippet right here to my side right here that you'll be able to kind of watch, and you can click on it later on to actually see visually me actually going and putting the disc in and testing it out, and y'all can check it out for yourself because I don't want to run over time because I got a lot of content I got to run over. So hopefully y'all enjoy that. that's gonna be really cool to really actually watch. Anyway, so then after that, as they announced it, and it was like natively going to be on Xbox One, a dude named Mike Ybarra came out and he was like, it's going to be over 100 titles that are going to be instantly able to be emulated through the Xbox One, but then the range of stuff is going to be grown as well. Now, does that mean they're going to go back to the actual Xbox games? I'm not really sure, but it's possible, you know what I'm saying? And the hype is real because of that, because that takes out of the manual hands of PlayStation that came out with the PlayStation Now and saying, well, I'm giving my consumers the ability to being able to put this, whatever disc they have, or whatever digital content they have, for free. And PlayStation, they would have to go back and combat that with saying, well, no more PlayStation Now, and like we're just gonna have it so the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2 games are able to play on the PS4. They're not going to do that. That would discredit them. And at the same time, what they would have to do is reduce the price maybe to like maybe $2 or $1 and say that any digital content you had on a PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3, you can be able to play on a PlayStation 4. That's the only way I can see that actually working. And I don't see them doing that. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. This is all about Microsoft, by the way. So the next thing they showed was just a brand new controller. I thought it was really cool because it had like back pads on it. And it also had like a back sensor, so you can actually move it with your fingers. And I was thinking, man, they are so trying to trash on like the PlayStation 4 because they added so many other features to it. I don't know the market price for it, but I do know that it has hair triggers, so like as far as how fast you actually move, it does make a difference. And then with the back paddles, you can actually use those to actually upshift, downshift, like in like Forza 6 or whatever. That was kind of a spoiler, sorry about that. The next thing was Todd Howard. He was talking about Fallout, and Fallout looks legit to me. I think visually it's probably one of the most beautiful ones, but to have like them going and revisiting that world, I think it's gonna be really cool. I just really thought it was beautiful. I don't have any real per se thoughts about it because I'm not really a big Fallout fan, but I do appreciate it. So then Phil Spencer came back up. Oh, not Phil Spencer. Yeah, Phil Spencer came back up, and no, he wasn't up there initially. Yeah, he was. Phil Spencer came back up. And he introduced the EA Access. So EA Access, it came up, and they were talking about like adding Titanfall, I think Dragon Age to the EA experience. I'm not all hype about EA experience because I don't want to pay for anything extra, but I do know it's a reduced cost, it's a reduced rate, and there are certain games I want to play like UFC and maybe NBA Live. But having Titanfall up there, I understand why they did that. They did introduce a new Plants vs Zombies, and that was pretty cool. What else? So let's see. Oh yeah, it did have like the song Danger Zone from Archer. It was really cool. So the next thing was a world premiere, and that was Forza 6. Forza 6 looks freaking epic. I have most of the Forzas. I had them, some of them by mistake, some of them from other friends, but like I've actually been a huge fan of the series, and it's so immersive, but at the same time it's so realistic, especially when they go to like the pan shot of opening up and folding up the actual cars. And this is going to be going off of guaranteed 1080p, 60 frames per second. You know, I've heard me say that, and then they've reduced it down to 30 frames per second. So I'm not sure how accurate it's going to be, but I do say that they used great music for the trailer. It was really beautiful, it was really well done, and it's coming out September 15th. Another premiere that came out was Dark Souls 3. This joint was really gritty, it was really scary, it was really dark, and I was like, what in the heck is this? I was like, this isn't Bloodborne. And then I was like, wait, kinda it is, you know? And so it was Dark Souls 3, it looks really epic, but going next, they went straight into Tom Clancy's Division. And the Division, they hadn't talked about like the multiplayer implementation for it, and I think that Division has the markers of greatness, but it's what they segued into that I thought that was the most perfect thing, because they segued into with a guy named Laurent Detac. I guess he was like, this is an Xbox One exclusive, talking about the Division, because it's going to be a beta, I guess, in December, so definitely check it out a little bit later. But they were talking about Rainbow Six Siege. I cannot wait. Me and Joe are ecstatic for Rainbow Six Siege, and I think even we actually talked about that last year. But it's officially coming out this year, October the 13th. So if you haven't pre-ordered yet, go and pre-order, because this game is going to be freaking epic. But one of the big things they added with it is that you're going to get Rainbow Six Las Vegas 1 and 2 for free automatically with it, through the backwards compatibility, allowing for like you having a digital conversion for it. And it looks amazing. I mean, one of the things I love about Siege is that there are continuous moments where you have to make content. You have to talk about what's going to happen next, because you can't just barge up in there. If somebody dies, it's just like in Destiny. One of the things I love about the Trials of Osiris is that you have to communicate with your team. If you're not, it's not going to work, you know? And I think that Siege has that. It has it. I'm definitely looking forward to that. The next thing they did, just did a whole bunch of indie games. The indie games, they look pretty cool. There was one I think was like gigantic. That would look pretty awesome. I think the GOAT game, I can't believe they added that to Xbox Live Marketplace. And it's all done through, what was it, Chris Charla. He was talking about that ID at Xbox.com. He had a couple people come up there by name of like Steve Gavar with a game called Tacoma. And it was crazy because it was kind of like a deep space kind of thing. And this girl, she was using sign language to be able to go in and out of doors. And it was just really strange, really ominous, but it looked really cool. But then, what was his name? What was the guy's name? Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know. I don't remember his name. But there was one, it was called Ashen. And basically, you are working hand in hand with another person, but you don't know if that person is a friend or a foe, and their actions might cause your death or destruction, or it might set you up. You don't know what their agenda is, or who they work with, or what faction they're part of. You just know you have to have them, you know. And it's in like one of the scenes, like one of the guys he was trying to go through, he gets stabbed through something, and the girl that made away, she was getting attacked by a monster, and I was like, yo, this looks pretty serious. It kind of had that feel of Limbo to it, but it was a lot more serious. The one that I can't wait for, is called Cuphead. And they had made it basically kind of like a 1930s like cartoon. Like that's what it really looks like. And I know that when, what was the name of that game? South Park. When South Park game came out, it looked just like the actual cartoon series. And that was one of the big draws about it. But this, it really does look like a 1930s like cartoon that you can really be able to play, interact with these two main characters. And it's just so spacey and weird, but I really like it. I really do want it, actually. I think another one was called Ion. And it wasn't really anything shown with it. It was just kind of like a body in lace and saran wrap, and it had stickers on it. It was kind of moving and glowing. I didn't understand that one. I thought it was kind of like a bust. I thought they could have used that space with something else, like even talking like Batman or something like that. But I think the exclusive rights to Batman are going to be on the Sony conference. So that's going to be coming out later. Brian Horton came up, right? And this was another big thing, a big milestone for me. Was when they came up with the Tomb Raider. The Tomb Raider, when it starts off, you got Lara and her friend, and they're walking through like the ice, and they're walking through up a mountain. And like, I was thinking to myself, like, man, I'm remembering this, but I was like, man, the other one's so much more grittier. Like, she was all jacked up and had been stabbed, and she's bleeding, and some of her friends had already died. I was like, what can they do? All of a sudden, she's like jumping and using her pitchfork to go into another part. And I was like, I've done this before, you know, in the first one. But then there's a landslide that's actually happening, and you got like rocks and stuff that are falling. And at a certain point, like, she loses her grip, and the guy that's next to her, like, he has her by the rope, but her body just hits the wall like that, and she's kind of like unconscious for a second. And then like, she's just trying to make it out, and it's so freaking intense. It seriously is great CG, but at the same as that time, like, it shows like Lara she's still a G. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's there, you know? And I thought it was like, wow, that's a good like trailer. That's a great gameplay trailer. I actually would love to do a reaction video with Joe. I'm not sure if he's gonna be interested to do it or not, but I might do that later. So yeah, Lara rocked my socks off on that one. I thought it was freaking awesome how they did that. And as y'all see, I got a freaking lot of notes. But that's coming out in November 10th, 2015. What else? So they came out with like these weird banners that had like Perfect Dark, Pro Jam, I think they had Blast, Banjo-Kazooie for sure, and then a lot of other ones, and it was a pack. It was basically 30 games for $30 from Rare. And so it's called the Rare Replay. For $30 you get 30 games. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a really good nudge, and being able to actually want me to get these games back unless I've already got them, you know. So I thought that was really cool. But then Rare Games came back out, and basically they had a new game that they were kind of pitching, and it was kind of like this Buccaneer style kind of game. And I thought it was really cool looking. Like, it kind of had like that orange box kind of feel to it. but at the same time, like, you really are a pirate. Like, it's not just you're an assassin. Like, these dudes are going through with their ships and all this kind of stuff. And it was really cool. I really liked how they did it. And then they talked about Fable Legends, that it's officially going to be free. So I wasn't too pressed on that. But the next thing was probably the biggest game changer, quite honestly. It's by Valve VR. So they had partnered with a relationship with Minecraft, right? And they came out with a system that allowed you to put some goggles on to play Minecraft. You know, you have to go and maneuver stuff around, but the goggles, when you're on, you're looking straight at that wall. I'm looking right at the wall right now, and I'm looking at it like it's the TV. Like the game is right there on the wall. I'm looking at it from the goggles. And then when he looked down, and all of a sudden he was like, project. The freaking thing started rising up like a hologram, like a literal hologram that he can interact with his fingers and be able to touch and be able to work with. I was like blown away. So the Microsoft Hololens is what's going to be coming out, and it's the first untethered holograms for the Microsoft 10 or Microsoft Windows 10 or any game console, honestly. And for them to be able to have something like that, I've never seen anything like that. So then this other girl, Linda Waters, who she was talking about this immersive world, being able to create this and being able to do this interface, and I was like, that is amazing. Like, not only has Microsoft successfully brought me in to wanting this like product even more now, to be able to have my old Xbox game, to be able to play on my Xbox One, but they've got games that are decent games. When I was looking at Halo, I was like, wow, this is freaking legit. And then even with Lara Croft, but then when you have something that's new and innovative, you know, and I think that Sony's going to come out with like something like the Morpheus or the Oculus and say this is what they're going to package with whatever. I think they're going to have to do that, because for Microsoft to go on the innovative level like this and at the same time be able to treat everybody else, it was a long time coming. I felt like they had to not burn bridges the last conference to be able to get everybody to a point now that they could be able to trust them. And I think that they caught a lot of flack with the Halo Anniversary Collection, quite honestly. And even though that wasn't reminiscent of Microsoft, it still represented the Microsoft name, you know. And so I think the last bit of this, I think Rod Ferguson that came up, and he was talking about basically a Gears of War Ultimate Edition. I thought that was really cool. But then they officially came out with the Gears of War 4 trailer. Now, I think that when I go here and I turn on all these lights and watch that trailer, I think it's going to look phenomenal, because the lighting in it was so dark. I didn't know what was going on most of the time, and then when I was looking at it, I was like, when they did get in the light, I was like, oh, light, I see a little bit, oh, they disappeared again. And it was really cool. I liked how they actually did it. It's just the trailer probably needed to be in the light. And when they actually did show the monsters really attacking them, I was like, this seriously looks intense. And so I'm definitely hyped up to see what they're going to do with furthermore of this. I think that's going to be releasing holiday of 2016. So that's going to be a while before that comes out. But I think they're going to probably come out with another trailer to treat for the fans, because I think a lot of fans are going to be upset about it. So in June 29th, that's when Windows 10 is going to be coming out. That's freaking awesome, because it's kind of like there's a lot that Microsoft is really doing. Yeah, I apologize for the beep. I don't know where that came from. But really, that concludes my thoughts and my review of the Microsoft conference of 2015's E3. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed my thought process on it. High notes are definitely backwards freaking compatibility. Halo 5, the HoloLens. I mean, they just, in my opinion, they kept themselves above water and walked on it. they got themselves above water. They just walked out. They were like, I'm just strolling, you know. I'm Microsoft, you know. And it's like, I didn't see any real faults in it. I thought that there were some games they could have left out to save for time or add something else in. But all in all, I actually really enjoyed it. And I think that Sony is going to capitalize on their game content. They're going to have a lot of really great games. And I think that's what all the Sony fanboys want. And I think the Microsoft fanboys are happy about this. And so I'm happy. I'm a both. I'm going to get a PS4. Potentially the Arkham Knight Limited Edition Silver version, y'all. So anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Hopefully I didn't go too far over. And let me know in your comment section what you thought about all this. And I'm going to leave my notes and stuff in the description bar below. And I'm also going to leave a link to the Microsoft conference from IGN at the description bar below, so you can go back and check it out yourself. And also, like I said, go check out when I actually do this emulation check for my Xbox One, and I'm about to post that up right now. This is SCL0320 signing out. Later, y'all.